What's up,
Yeah,
everybody? Welcome back to the tavern. I'm Spencer.
and I'm Eli. Viva la revolution! Because
Uh,
apparently Spencer can't start anything.
oh, shut up. I once again made the boo boo of forgetting to connect OBS to the live stream I set up. So we're like 30 seconds late. Big deal. Uh, we got a couple things on the dock. Welcome back to the tavern. I didn't say that because you interrupted me. Uh,
Viva la revolution!
um, So we got a couple of things on the docket today. Uh, I probably should have told you about this before we started, but no, you know what? It's our second topic. I'll tell you when we get to it.
Hold on.
Um,
The
but yeah, so this week, uh,
D&D campaign of thesis?
yeah, basically, at at what point is a D&D campaign no longer really D&D once you've changed it enough?
Okay.
But a little poll happened this week voting for the most iconic video game characters, and they polled 4,000 people, and it is quite possibly the dumbest ranking in the history of video games. So so it is 15 characters, the most iconic video game characters. First, at spot 15 is Crash Bandicoot. That's reasonable. I think Crash Bandicoot's in a fine spot there. I could see moving him up considering the other characters on the list, but, all in all, he made the top 15. I'm happy with that. Number 14, Solid Snake. Once
I don't
again,
feel he should be on the list, but that's me.
he's at least borderline. Like, I can be like, okay, people voted him at 14. He personally wouldn't be on my list, but I know a lot of people who love the Metal Gear Solid franchise, that it's a very popular franchise, so I can understand him being on a list of the most iconic.
I
Third,
would put Bayonetta in his spot.
Bayonetta, yeah, I think at this point Bayonetta's eclipsed him, but
Just because there hasn't been a good uh Metal Gear Solid game in a while.
that is true. That is
That
true.
that's my only reasoning.
Well, and he typically, honestly, let's think about it. He gets overshadowed by Raiden because of Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance.
Yeah,
A lot
there's
of
also
people
that.
remember him over Snake. I mean, Snake's obviously iconic, but I mean, when people think of Metal Gear Solid, a lot of people go to Raiden and the antics of that game. 13, Steve from Minecraft.
I didn't know who Steve was. I want to point that out. When this list got sent to me, I did not know who it was.
Because it just says Steve. It just says Steve and nothing else. So, to the uneducated, it could be freaking Steve from Blue's Clues for all we know. But, uh,
I would put him on that list.
um,
Done. Replace him with Blue's Clues, Steve. Got it.
absolutely. Easy. Done. Okay. So, my issue with that is, okay, yeah, Minecraft is recognizable at this point, but it's like, I don't know. Steve is not distinct enough. Like, yes, he's recognizable just because he's the default Minecraft skin. What's up, cheese? But really, like, you could just put a blank Minecraft character template, and it'd be like, oh yeah, that's Minecraft.
It's a ranking. Here, let me send that to you via Discord so you can pull it up on screen so people understand what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah, you know what? That's a good idea. I could also have just pulled it up on Twitter, but... So it's the most iconic video game characters, according to a poll
your phone
of 4,000 people. Good job. you send me the picture, literally. I send it to you, and you send me back the same exact screenshot. You freaking... Oh my gosh.
Listen. Mom, I never said I was a smart man.
Jeez Louise. So, I need to find a way to put this up on screen because I don't want to show it all at the same time.
Can do like a Word document, man.
I don't have Word.
Do you have Notepad?
Maybe.
Okay, let me stop what I'm doing because I'm sitting here playing video games as we do this, and I could just easily fix this problem.
Okay.
Give me a second.
Wait, no, I have an idea. We're gonna sneak it onto the bottom and just slowly slide it up. So we got 15, Crash Bandicoot. 14, Solid Snake. 13, Steve from Minecraft. So yeah, that basically while Steve is recognizable, I don't know about iconic because, you know.
Please, I'm playing Stardew Valley.
I don't know. There's something about him I'm not sold on. 12. Pikachu.
Pika Pika.
How is Pikachu at 12? He should be top 3, and I think you can argue between him and one other character that he should be number 1. Number 11, Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption. Okay.
You know what?
Shouldn't be ahead of Pikachu, but it's fine that he's on the list.
No, yeah, I was like, he's on the list. I know who Arthur Morgan is without having to look him up. And I didn't play Red Dead.
Arthur Morgan Cheese is the main character from Red Dead Redemption.
The first game, not the second one. Second game is about his son.
No, the second game is set in the past. You play
They're both set in the past.
Well, okay, you jackass.
That's not what Texas really looks like, dude.
I know it's not what Texas really looks like. What I'm saying is Red Dead Redemption 2 is a prequel to Red Dead Redemption 1 where you play another person in Arthur Morgan's gang. You play as Arthur Morgan's son at the end of Red Dead Redemption 1. Didn't care for that series? That's fair, Cheese. I've never played it myself, so I want to.
I've never had a chance to play it.
Moving just on a little bit up more. Number 10, Shadowheart. What? A character from a game that just came out last year.
It probably because it's fresh on everyone's mind is the only reason why it's on there. She's on there.
But it like iconic does not mean the first person I think of right now. Like iconic is somebody who's going to stand the test of time as an enduring icon in video games. Who is that, Cheese? It's a character from Baldur's Gate 3. That's who it is. Great character. Like, nothing against her. I love Shadowheart as a character. She was immediately the first character I latched onto playing the game. I didn't finish the game yet, and I need to, but does not deserve to be on a most iconic video game characters list.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I would not view her. There's other characters in other companions that I would put above her.
Yeah, Karlach.
Karlach's a good one. Honestly, I would put Will above her.
Yeah?
I
Shadowheart's
would
just
put
the favorite.
Yeah, Shadowheart's the favorite because goth mommy.
Yeah, yeah, honestly.
Because I don't know what it is with you gamers, but you all have something wrong with you.
I do it mostly as a meme at this point, but see, I'm not going to get into this. I want to play
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate cheese, but my computer is not good enough for it. It takes way too long to load in, so I wouldn't be able to stream it. Eli saying gamers like he isn't one. Yeah, exactly. Number 9, Kratos. Okay.
Okay.
Kratos deserves to be on the list. I don't really have an issue with where he is.
I might have moved him up a little bit looking
Maybe,
at it.
maybe. Yeah, maybe. Except the next character I think I'd still put ahead of him. Number 8,
yeah.
Master Chief.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think Master Chief is top 5. Debatably, top 4. Or top 3, rather. Like, he's not touching Mario or Pikachu.
Yeah.
But outside of that, there's not a lot of other characters that are as iconic as Master Chief. Number 7, Link. Okay. Link is one of the ones that I could say, all right, you could debate between him and Master Chief.
Yeah.
You know, at the very least.
I would say Link is more iconic than Master Chief.
I think so. And that may even just be because of the number of games.
That's 100%.
Yeah, I mean, because Link has been around since the 80s, so he's had a lot more time in the gaming limelight. Pong paddle for number 1. Truly the most iconic video game character. Number 6, Pac-Man. Absolutely. Pac-Man, I think, is in the right spot. That's also partially because I forgot who is next. But, number 5? Oh, yeah, Sackboy. Get Sackboy off of this list. I don't know why he's even here. Like, legitimately. You'd recognize him if you saw him, but...
I'm looking him up right now.
Yeah, go do it, because he's the main character of the Little Big Planet series, which, I mean, is
Still don't know who he is.
Fairly...
He looks like a ball of yarn with a zipper.
Yeah, pretty much. Little Big Planet is a popular series, but he's not more iconic than Pac-Man, Link, Master Chief, Kratos, Pikachu, Crash Bandicoot. Like, he's not. So he shouldn't be on this list at all. Number 4, Sonic. Okay, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I can't argue that one. It's like,
see, that's what it's like. Sonic and Link are the ones that make me wonder if really like, oh yeah, I guess Master Chief kind of has to be 5, because I mean, dude, Sonic has transcended video games at this point. He's like his own thing now. Like, he's an interesting one. Number 3, Agent 47.
I don't think he should be on this list.
I don't think he should be on the list either. At the very least, not number 3. He doesn't belong anywhere near number 3. Especially because there's an omission from this list, and there's a couple of omissions. But before we get to that, let's get to the most rage-inducing one. How is Mario number 2? Who in their right mind didn't think Mario was the most iconic video game character of all time. Yeah, Doom Guy is who I was gonna say. Doom Guy should absolutely be on here over Agent 47. Easy. Every day of the week. Absolutely. It's a travesty that Doom Guy isn't on here. But Mario number 2, even worse, especially when you know number 1 is Lara Croft. Lara Croft is great. Don't get me wrong.
She deserves to be on this list.
She absolutely deserves to be on this list. She's been an enduring video game character since the 90s, and she's one of those few characters from the 90s who has continued to be good. Through a remaster of the video game series, you know, she has endured. But Mario is number 1. I don't care. Mario is number 1. I'm not even the biggest fan of Mario games. I enjoy them. I enjoyed them a lot more when I was a kid, but Mario's number 1. It shouldn't even be close.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I don't know. Like, I can't even think of anything else to say about it. Like, I also think there are some notable omissions from this list. Mega Man should have been on here.
Yeah.
Like, how is Mega Man on here?
Nathan Drake.
Nathan Drake is one that he's kind of in the Solid Snake kind of category where it's like
you could debate him not being on the list as just as well as you could debate him being on the list.
Yes, he's at least borderline, and I think he slots in somewhere in the like 20 to 25 range, or rather 15 to 25 range.
Yeah.
Nathan Drake is the main character of the Uncharted series, Cheese. Basically, male Lara Croft.
Yeah.
I mean, he acts a lot different than Lara Croft, but
he's a whole lot less serious.
Yes. Yes, way less serious.
He does nothing but joke the entire time. Really
Yeah, absolutely. Great character. There's some other considerations. Like, you know who I would put in over Steve? The Creeper from Minecraft.
Yeah.
The Creeper, I think, is a far more enduring image of Minecraft than Steve is. And I kind of have to agree. Something from Minecraft has to be on here. Because it's the most best-selling video game of all time. Like, but I don't feel Steve is all that recognizable, especially since 95% of people that play the game immediately before they've even started playing changed their skin off of Steve.
Yeah.
To another video game character or one they made themselves, you know, whatever. Like, immediately. I said Louis. Thank you, Adam. You spitting nothing but facts. Luigi. Oh, yeah, Leon Kennedy. Good grief. I didn't even think about Resident Evil. Yeah, absolutely Leon should be on this list. I'd put him in over Solid Snake and Agent 47 easily. He could be considered top 10. Yeah, there was at least one other character.
I'm going to be honest with you. If it was just iconic characters, I would honestly put Cortana above Master Chief.
Yeah, because, I mean, she carried the first game.
She carried the first 3 games.
Well, what I mean by she carried the first game is Master Chief really didn't talk all that much in the first game. Once you hit game 2, you get some of his iconic lines like, "Sir, giving the Covenant back their bomb, and I need a weapon." Like, the lines everybody loves from Master Chief came in 2 and 3. And that's when his character started developing a lot more. But,
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, in the first game, when it comes to talking, Chief has like 5 lines. And Cortana's the one doing all the talking.
Oh yeah. I have to agree with you there, guys.
Mr.
Mr. Freeman.
Freeman! Yeah, absolutely. And to that point, Chell from Portal.
Yeah.
I'd put Chell in over
Um.
Shadowheart.
Um. Oh God, I just had it. I just had it, and I looked away from the screen and forgot what I was going to say.
And I do
Handsome Jack from Borderlands.
see. Okay, I was just about to say, because I have to put the clarification. It seems like this list is referring only to main characters, like the player character.
I
But
would put him as a more of a main character than any of the player characters from Borderlands 2.
well, and see, yeah, the story is centered around him, but these are all the characters that you play. And I think the thing with Borderlands 2 is, despite the characters having their story doesn't develop throughout the game.
Yeah.
Really. And I mean, the same thing happens in the first game. Nothing changes about Roland, Lilith, Mordecai, or Brick throughout the first game. They're just there. And then in the second game, they get fleshed out a lot more, and their stories change. And Shadowheart isn't a main character. No, you can play her. You can pick any one of the companions and play them right off the bat. But yeah, I think it's the same argument with Handsome Jack, where it's like, your main character in Baldur's Gate 3 really is just
You.
it's you. It's hard to say because Link, I guess Link has more personality, but he's always been the silent protagonist, so you can implant yourself on him. Like,
That was the idea with Master Chief as well.
yeah,
But
that
then
was a
what
very
happened-
popular idea for a long time.
You know what's really funny? You know why they actually gave Master Chief voice lines in Halo 2?
Why?
Because in the early days of the internet, everyone thought Master Chief was a woman.
What?
Because they would hear Cortana and go,
Oh,
"Oh, that's
they
just
thought-
this guy."
They thought Cortana was your character?
Yep, and you were just a giant piece of metal running around. You weren't a person. You were
You're a cyborg, like a robot?
Yeah. So she would like hop out. She would put part of her conscious there, hop out, and go do the thing while you went and did other things.
Wow. That's really funny. I didn't know that. Oh my gosh.
Funny enough, there's a crap. In the speed run of Halo CE, where they have a lot of the original creators on there.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Downs, not Steve Downs. Marty O'Donnell mentions that. He was like, "Yeah, it was kind of funny. That's why we had to give him more voice lines in the second one." And it was like, okay, that's pretty goofy.
That is very goofy. I love behind the scenes gaming stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know what to think about this list. Like, clearly 4,000 people was too small of a sample size.
Ratchet and Clank, yeah, that's another good
Ratchet
one.
and Clank, yeah. 100%. There is a lot of people in the comments saying they've never heard of Sackboy.
Good. Because it makes me feel like I'm not the only one.
Yeah, see, I've heard of Sackboy,
I
but that's there's something totally different than I've heard of Sackboy, and oh yeah, he's one of the most iconic video game characters.
Maybe they pulled like a really weird age group too.
Right. Oh my gosh, you know what? I understand why it's not, but I'd have to put it on my own list. Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah, I mean...
I totally understand why it's not there, but gosh dang it if it wouldn't be on mine. I guess their icon status was kind of diminished when, what was it, Nuts and Bolts for the Xbox 360 wasn't good.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other, like, super iconic video game characters.
See, I mentioned Donkey Kong beforehand. Oh. Donkey Kong should absolutely be on there.
Hold on. Whoa. There is one really big one.
What are you going to say? Samus? Yeah. You know what? Because I just had another idea. Kirby.
Oh.
Like, bro. I mentioned Spyro since Crash Bandicoot made the list, but I think Crash Bandicoot did sell more than Spyro, so he might be a little bit more well known. I am kind of surprised no video game or no GTA characters made it. I personally wouldn't put any, but I feel Joel from The Last of Us, dude. Oh, I love Joel. Absolutely, he should be on this list. I put him in over Solid Snake or Agent 47, either of them.
It drives me up the wall, like, when I'm looking at that list. Because, like, okay, yes, did they get some of the iconic characters? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But they didn't, like, get the good iconic characters. Like, come on now.
Right. Yeah, that's... It's one of those baffling, like...
How could you mess up that badly?
Yeah, who did they ask? Oh my gosh! Another one! Ryu! From Street Fighter. Virgil or Dante. Yeah, oh my gosh, dude. As I think about it more and more, it just gets more and more egregious, the characters they did put on there. Oh my gosh. But yeah, you know what? I am very used to watching a lot of lists and being like, no, that was dumb. Top 10 lists were a whole trend for a while.
Yeah.
They were very, very popular. You know, freaking Watch Mojo. Yeah, it is a list of 15, so it is absolutely hard to pick, but there are certain characters that it's just like, Mario should be number 1, Pikachu should be number 2. And a deadline to meet, that's also fair. But Mario 1, Pikachu 2. This also could go into our thing. I think we were talking about it last week, how journalism, like video game journalism, sucks, so they probably... There's a chance they didn't even really poll 4,000 people. They just maybe walked around. They might have just
gone to, like, a college. They might have just gone to, like, Manchester United College. And just been like, come fill out this poll.
Or just ask people around the office and then put them in an arbitrary order that would stir up a little mini, I can't call it a controversy, but like...
Oh, no, it is a controversy because, like, this is throwing... I can see a lot more people being upset with this than happy with this.
Yeah, well, and that's the case. And I have to wonder if it's not intentional. Because it's like, you're getting clicks, people are talking about you.
It's not good talk, but they're talking.
They're talking.
That is something that I absolutely hate. The idea of, it's like, there's no bad publicity. It's
no
like,
press is bad press. Yeah.
I can't stand that.
Well, and the worst part is, no matter how dumb your opinion is, or how, whatever it is, someone will always agree with you. You can pull out the dumbest take in human history, and someone will agree with you. Like, legitimately. It is mind-boggling the number of times when I've seen somebody make a hot take, and I'm like, wow, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Nobody can agree with that. And then there's like 50 people in the comments, oh my gosh, somebody finally said it. And I'm like, oh, okay. Dude, do you know how many people I have seen online cooking medium rare chicken?
No, please. It's like, somebody showed me a video the other day that was like, yeah, Eli, how do you feel about this? And somebody was cleaning their chicken with bleach, and I was like, it put every bone in my body on attack mode.
Oh my gosh. Seriously. People are morons. Like, there was just a dude, I saw a thing with a dude on TikTok who was like, eating a raw chicken breast every day until I feel sick. Like, bro, you're gonna die. Like,
so,
I mean, you're not gonna die, most likely, but you're gonna suffer. Like, you're gonna get real sick.
Like,
someone ain't never had food poisoning.
Salmonella does not play around.
Some girl asked you if the moon was gonna explode because of the solar eclipse. She said she saw it on TikTok. Oh my gosh, dude. The number of people who are saying the world is coming to an end because of a solar eclipse that happens once every, 6 years was insane. I swear, every couple of months, there's a new world-ending event that's gonna happen. And it's like, we're supposed to be panicking about that. Like, you want to go all the way back to Y2K, and then there's 2012 as the notable ones. Which, by the way, after my dad explained to me Y2K, I was like, this is quite possibly, as someone who is a programmer, quite possibly the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, exactly, Adam. Most of the time, the total eclipse falls over the ocean. Yeah. So, it doesn't really affect anyone. Yeah, Y2K. So, I guess I should clarify, because there are quite a few of my viewers that are still in high school or weren't alive around the time. We barely were, so... Yeah. In the 90s, there was a fear that when the year 2000 came around, computers weren't going to be able to handle the change from 1999 to 2000, and it was going to cause a mass, technology shutdown, and all technology in the world was going to fall apart and cease to function, and there was no way we'd be able to fix it, and we'd be sent back to the Dark Ages. Absolutely the most idiotic world-ending event, quote-unquote, that has ever happened. At least the Mayan calendar, it was like, oh, well, the Mayans are pretty smart people, and if their year stopped in 2012, it's like, okay, you know what? I can see why people had that in the back of their heads. I still don't understand panicking about it, but, There are people who think they saved the world by turning off enough computers for Y2K. Dude, it's so dumb. And then when I saw that the explanation was like, yeah, they didn't think the computer would be able to handle clicking over from 99 to 2000. That is the most idiotic thing. If a computer can put in 4 digits, it can do 4 digits all the way up to 9,999.
I heard one explanation on that. It was like, maybe we might have a problem. A very small, like, a computing error when it turns year 10,000. Maybe.
Yeah. At this point, no. We wouldn't have that because computers are capable of processing that at this point. But yes, going from 4 digits to 5 digits, yeah, I could see that being an issue. If we had the technology we had in the 90s, all the way in the 9,990s, and it was like, well, we're going from 9,999 to 10,000, yes, that is at least somewhat of a like, oh, well, could this technology handle it? But as soon as the computer was capable of processing 1,000, it could process 9,999. Y2K is people thinking the bug that caused nuclear Gandhi would happen worldwide. Stack Overflow just shuts down all technology. It rolls over from a negative value to the highest value possible. Man, I love computers.
Dude, that drives me insane because it's like, because like I've heard dumb stuff said, but like even the 2012 one, I was like, that's dumb.
See, at the time, because we were like 13 at the time.
We were in middle school.
Yeah, we were in middle school. So there was the thought in the back of my head, like, oh man, what if this is true? You know, but I was a stupid middle schooler. Like, you know, I wasn't really putting any stock in it. It was just like, you know, because everybody else was like, oh my gosh, the world's gonna come to an end. I was like, is it? Like, the thought at least passed through my head. Now I'm like, shut up. When everybody starts going like, oh, the world's ending, I'm like, what's up, Shadow City? I mean, you missed us roasting a list of the most iconic video game characters, but that's about it. Surprised y'all don't question my knowledge gap because I know old games and characters and games that I shouldn't care about now, and I don't know who Beyonce is. Dude, I mean, there are people who have told me that I was born in the wrong generation because I listened to music from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Like,
oh, dude, I was listening to like
and
classic
50s.
soul music. I was listening to classic soul music today, and everybody at work was like, "What is wrong with you?" I was like, "What?" And they're like, "Seriously, what is wrong with you?" I'm like, "What do you mean? I'm just listening to soul music," and it's like, "Yeah, that music was made before you existed."
Yeah, well, yeah, that dude. I was listening to the Beatles. I have a playlist of 50s and 60s music, and it was just happened to be on a Beatles song. I'm not a huge Beatles fan. Just as a little side tangent, I like a few of their songs, but I don't think they should be dubbed the best band to ever exist. But I was walking around singing, "It's been a hard day's night, and I've been working like a dog" at work because while I was playing my music, and one of the older managers was like, "Are you listening to the freaking Beatles?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, when were you born? Like 99. Like, you know that's from the 60s. I was like, "Yeah, that was before my dad was born." This came out before my dad was born, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I don't believe you're listening to that." I'm like, it's good music. What do you want me to say? You love Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi's great too. Gen Alpha is the wrong generation.
I figured you'd get a kick out of that one.
Hate that I'm in my 20s and understand why kids these days is an expression. Dude, when I saw the freaking, what was it, skibbity toilet, or whatever it was, which I found out it's essentially just a modern day version of, like Gary's Mod YouTube poop.
Yeah.
But when I first heard that term, I was like, what did you just say to me? What? Huh? I was... And then Riz wasn't too hard to figure out, and I don't hate Riz. I also just realized I put 2 eyes in time on the topic board. I shouldn't have pointed that out, but, you know, it's there. This generation was a mistake. People judge you for liking old pop music, but not classical. I mean...
I get judged for classical, not pop music.
I don't have a classical playlist at the moment. I'd say I do listen to classical music. I just haven't saved my classical music yet. I'd say the one that I get judged for the most is listening to video game music. Which usually the quote is, "What, are you autistic?" And I'm like, yes. It's all old music, so why does it matter? Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. Like, you know what? There's gonna be a day when music written this year is gonna be old music. So, Persona music, dude. Persona soundtrack absolutely slaps. One of my Persona 5 is probably my favorite video game soundtrack of all time, easily. I like the Doom soundtrack. It's just not one that I can listen to all the time.
Oh, it goes so hard, and I love how hard it goes.
It does go hard. But I forgot what we were originally talking about now. At this point, we've kind of...
we trailed off the board.
We did trail off quite a bit. Also, I'm gonna go ahead and make a quick
PSA
plug. Not PSA really. If you like video game music, look up The Noble Demon, because he does remixes or like covers of different video game soundtracks that are more orchestral. And oh my gosh, he absolutely crushes it. His Legend of Zelda, Kirby, Mario, Undertale, Pokemon, Castlevania, like quite a lot of different franchise. Like I have songs that he has made from games that I've never played. Just to give you the idea of how good he does. But I was just like, I heard them and I was like, yeah. Like that's awesome. Absolutely. So if you like video game music, look up The Noble Demon, because absolutely fantastic artist. That was just my little shout out. That's the word I was looking for. It's gonna be a day where we all end up in the dirt. Just let people enjoy what they enjoy in the meantime. Yeah, pretty much. But to get on to our next topic, what's this? I will be 6 feet under in an urn by the time people are like that.
Hey now.
So to kind of explain this next topic, I've put the D&D campaign of Thesis. I couldn't find a better way to think of a better way to word it, but basically, at what point?
Oh, I understand it now.
At what point, when you've changed the rules of D&D enough, is it no longer D&D? Because, I mean, I've been talking to you about some changes I've made in my campaign.
Yeah.
We've already talked about changing the way combat works. We've added different races and talked about adding different classes. Like, we monkey with stuff all the time. And just recently, I was having the conversation with Eli where I was like, I really don't want to call the deities in my world gods because I'm Christian. I don't really want to have that association. I was like, I want to think of a different word to kind of separate that. And I had the idea of calling them pillars, which I will say subconsciously probably came from Demon Slayer. I will just out myself like that. I'll self-report right away because I had the idea. I'm like, oh, pillar. Pillar's a cool word. And then like an hour later, after I was gone through and edited all of them, like, yeah, all right, I've renamed all of them to Pillar of. Wait a minute, that's a Demon Slayer thing. That's Hashira in Demon Slayer translates to pillar. So, subconsciously kind of did that. But I was like, I think that's a cool thing. Pillarmen? Oh gosh. I was like, all right, yeah, pillar works. I love D&D, but D&D combat makes me want to pull a Kratos and fling myself off a cliff. Yeah, and that's why we've talked about doing things to speed it up and change it a little bit. I kind of want to bring back the idea of giving you guys feats from 4th edition. Not feats. You have to think of a different word, but combat tactics, basically. Abilities. Yeah. To kind of spice things up. But that was my question. At what point are we no longer playing D&D because we've made so many changes to the game?
I don't know, man, because
we still use a lot of like the base way the die are rolled and a lot of the monsters and everything. It's like it's still very D&D, but there's definitely like if you compared my homebrew world to an Adventurers League campaign,
oh yeah,
night and day. And same thing with yours. Like completely different. So
yeah, a lot of Adventure League stuff would look at mine and go, no, that's wrong. It's like, but we have fun. That's the only thing I care about.
Exactly. Fun is the top priority, which is why I've
that reminds me of something. There was one point while we were playing, it was in my campaign, and somebody brought something. It was one of those rule questions that I get asked a lot. Like somebody rolled a nat 1 on a saving throw. A bad guy rolled a nat 1 on a saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
And can't remember who asked it, but somebody was like, hey, does that deal double damage? And I was like, okay, this is a rule that I haven't thought about. So, table, discuss it. If you guys agree that a critical fail on a saving throw means you deal double damage to make spellcasting a little bit more powerful, we can go ahead and do that. But understand, if you guys agree to this,
it happens to you too.
It's universal. It's not like, okay, well, it only works for the bad guys. No, it works for everyone. And immediately it was like, well, this helps us in this fight. Does it help us in every fight?
Yeah, and that, I think, the reason we shot it down, somebody was like, oh yeah, I like the idea of that. And I was like, hey, just so you guys know, if we fight a magic caster and we roll a 1, we're toast. And they're like, oh yeah. Oh.
But it was it did bring the session to like a screaming halt for like 5 minutes. But it was an actual discussion.
Group? Yeah, exactly.
And everyone was involved because it affected everyone at the table.
And it was hey, what do you guys think is fun?
And because we had another one where it's like, hey, can more than one person fit into a 5-foot square? And it's like, in reality, yeah, you could. But at the same time, if you guys do it, I'm gonna do it right back to you.
Right. Well, and it's also why we've discussed using the Warhammer idea of movement to kind of open up combat a little bit more.
Yeah.
Group, the topic I put D&D campaign of thesis. Basically, at what point after monkeying with the rules and changing so many things is D&D no longer D&D and really its own role-playing game? Because both me and Eli in our personal worlds have changed so many rules of D&D. We both have our own pantheon of deities. We both have tweaked rules that are just kind of our group's rules for how we like to run the game. Like when we crit, we don't double the damage, we double the dice. There's a couple other things that I know we've talked about, like Druid, it's not a third of your level for what your wild shape is, it's half if you're doing a Moon Druid. Because that kind of opens up being able to play more interesting things, and we also allow you to do Beast and... or not Beast, yeah. Right? Yes? No. Basically, we don't limit it to just like animals. We let you turn into a dragon or something like that because it's fun.
Yeah, that. And okay, does it get kind of overpowered at times? Yes, but at the same time, it allows the DM to be like, okay, I don't have to play nice.
Well, and that's the thing. You know what? I'm all for giving players quote unquote overpowered abilities, items, whatever, because I have the capability to be as mean as I want to. The players are limited with what they have. With it, they're so constrained within the rules that generally, even if they have something that's overpowered, there's always something that can be done about it. So, you know what? Yeah, sure. You want to have that? Cool. If it's what's going to make you have fun, as long as it is not at the expense of other people's fun, absolutely, we can do that. Because I'll be honest, like, I gave you guys some things in that first campaign that were freaking broken. And I came up with ways to deal with it without removing the fun.
Yeah.
Your DM is running a homebrew campaign about some druid turning a massive area into a massive tree and everyone in that area into tree people. So you chose to play a pyromancer? Nice. The moment you do anything not officially D&D rules, you're no longer playing official D&D. I suppose that is true. That does make sense. My thought process with it was, like, you see Critical Role. They don't play with all the exact out-of-the-book rules, because frankly, there are some out-of-the-book rules that are just dumb and not fun to play with.
Yeah.
And so, does anybody outside of people who play in Adventurers League games...
Okay, I will say this. Adventurers League has its place.
Yes.
It is very good for new players to sit down and go, okay, this is how you play D&D.
This is what D&D is. My only problem with Adventure League games is the fact that it is so restrictive. Because where I sit right now, it opens up, somebody says, hey, can I do this? Let me think about it. Yeah, sure, you can do that. Whereas most of the time in Adventurers League, it's going to be like, no, that's not within the rules. And I think that's one of the most fun parts of D&D. I mean, dude, we get things where I use Burning Hands to navigate through an invisible maze. Or I use Create and Destroy Water to create 5 gallons worth of water in a man's lungs and drown him instantly. I'm never going to do that again because, one, horrifying.
Oh yeah, I described the entire thing to you.
Yeah, in gruesome detail. Uh, the only way I would ever consider doing that again is if we did an evil campaign.
Fair
Uh,
enough.
Also on a personal quest to make a musket in the same campaign because I think it's funny. Not official. D&D doesn't have boundaries or rules. It's whatever you want to attribute to it. You can play Pathfinders and call it unofficial D&D 2e. It's silly, but you can give boundaries to what inherently has no boundaries. Yes. Well, and I think the thing with Adventurers League is it's very by the books. So there's certain things where it'd be like, well, does the spell say you can do that? No? Well, then you can't do that. You know? And it's like, oh, well, that rule isn't very fun. Yeah, well, it's the rule. So I've never personally played Adventurers League, and I really don't have uh, interest in it because dude, I've played D&D long enough at this point that I want to be able to do what I would like to do.
I want to do what I want to do, and I don't want anybody to stop me.
Gruesome detail of what? So, to break down the situation, I had an idea. I don't remember what the situation was. Was it somebody was a hostage? And
No, you guys were fighting pirates.
oh, we were fighting pirates. I was playing as a wizard, and I had create and destroy water for whatever reason. And it says basically you create, what is it, 5 gallons worth of water in a space? Or no, it's.
Yeah, and then if
I have to look at
you
the
don't even
spell.
have to,
But create or destroy water. 10 gallons with within range in an open container. So it must, was it create food and water?
might have been. All
Or
I know,
they reworded the spell. Either way, uh I believe I asked the question, do lungs count as a space or as a container? And you
yes,
paused, like looked at me, like with like the look on your face, like, no, don't do this. You're like, yes. Like, can I create water in that man's lungs? And he proceeded to give a disturbingly in-depth description of what happened to that man.
yep.
Not great. Not great. I think the entire party kind of paused where I was like, so I think somebody went, what the F, dude? It's like,
That's
I
that's
just,
sick.
I just wanted to drown him. I didn't know it would do that. I mean, you stabbed that guy. Yeah, but that was much worse.
At least his death was fast.
Like, come
we had
on.
to stand around for 10 minutes and watch this man suffocate.
I was just like, oh gosh. Boil blood is a real spell in the books. Doesn't surprise me. I mean, technically, create or destroy water, you could destroy the water within someone's body and they just shrivel up. Which is
Yeah.
also horrifying. You want to write a horror one shot, but you want to know what the players fear? Yeah, I've tried to write a horror one shot before. It's very difficult because I wanted to write one that wasn't just like, I'm throwing spooky monsters at you. You know, I wanted to actually write one where it was like, oh gosh, we are fighting to stay alive. And the idea that I ended up coming up with was basically putting you guys in a situation where you're essentially like teenagers breaking into a haunted house. and you have to solve puzzles while being chased by a thing that moves slower than you. Uh, you can use Mage Hand to fling someone's heart at 40 miles an hour.
Yes.
I also came up. I think I asked you the question. Could I use haste on someone's heart and cause it to explode? uh, which I was like, I just asked that as a hypothetical question, and you kind of looked at me like, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay, we'll put that one to bed. I'm not gonna."
I'm not gonna keep that one up.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and dump that idea and move on. Create and control water are fun if you're allowed to selectively freeze. You start at the edge and freeze inward, creating massive pressure and making human smoothie. Dude, there are so many disturbing things you can do with spells in D&D. If it's all
Your DM allows you.
you're only limited by your imagination and your DM, but you at the very least with stuff like that didn't clarify, well, if it can happen to them, it can happen to you. But you did say, yeah, sure, you can do that, but it is considered an evil and horrifying act. Like, basically, you will be shunned and quite possibly put in jail for such a horrifying act.
Yeah.
Recently had an idea for a campaign. The idea was a hardcore survival campaign where the world froze over and the party has to struggle to survive. I'm running a campaign in a parallel to that where the world, the continent they're on, has been torn down by uh, a zombie apocalypse, essentially, and 90% of the towns they're going to have no people in them. So there's no economy. You know, when they do run into people, it's like, oh my gosh, people. And, you know, they've already witnessed some people be eaten alive. And they've had a fun time so far. This is, so I want to give you a little insight on this. I've had difficulty with this campaign thinking like, okay, how do I make this difficult for them without making it unfun? I've gone back and forth with it where it's like, yeah, you know what? They're a party of level 3s. I threw 2 CR5s at you, which I believe is considered a deadly encounter.
Yes.
Even if they were separate, it's still a hard encounter. And I've kind of batted back and forth with it where I'm like, there are some really cool things that I'd like them to fight, but I don't just want to throw you guys into the fire and it's like, oh, well, yeah, we never stood a chance against this thing. You just slaughtered all of us. But I also don't want to be like, oh man, this thing's too strong. I need to pull punches. And then you guys slaughter it and it's like, well, that wasn't hard. So I liked the last fight. Considering I got 3 of you down to almost unconscious, I was like, yep, that's the range that I want to be in.
I didn't get touched once.
You didn't get touched once, but you were also a decent distance away from the action.
And I did very little damage.
Right. You weren't doing the most damage. So they weren't focusing you. But that was kind of how I wanted it to go, because Finn was like, I need to use a health potion. And Willie was like, I need to use a health potion. And Alex had to use a health potion. Like, it very easily, I could have just killed one of you and moved on. But I was like, you dealt the most damage this turn. He's going to attack you. Oh, you dealt the most damage this turn. He's going to attack you. Oh, this time it was you. Oh, also, you ran far away? Okay, yeah, you didn't attack him this turn, so he's not going to bother with you. You know, those things weren't super intelligent. Uh, but also intelligent enough not to just mindlessly beat the thing on the ground in front of them, which there are going to be zombies that are like that.
Yeah.
Rule that Dimension 20 used that was incredibly cool and tense was crits have a chance to instantly kill no matter the attack. Oh. I need to see how they did that, because that could be an interesting implementation. If you want difficulty, you have to give a way out, make the lose condition of the fight not a TPK. Right, yeah, exactly. And that's what the fight that I threw in front of them this time. They're a party of 7 level 3s at this point, which both sessions they were missing people, so it wasn't a full party. But I threw 2 CR5s in front of them, along with a horde of zombies. So the zombies were minions, so it was one shot dead. But the idea was, okay, you can fight them both at once. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can do it. What they chose to do was fight them one at a time, which is what I thought they would do. So the idea was, okay, they're going to fight one at a time. They are either going to be super conservative with all of their spells and abilities and everything on the first one, and then blow everything on the second one, or they're going to do the opposite and burn through everything on the first one and trudge through the second one. And that's exactly what they did. They did the latter. Luckily, because the guy who wasn't there the first time was there the second time, they had a guy who hadn't expended anything. So he helped them a lot. He was also the primary damage dealer of the party, the freaking wizard. So
yeah,
you guys took a while to melt that first one down, even with all you guys blowing stuff. And then you were all like, "Oh yeah, we can go get a long rest." And I'm like, "Are you sure about that? There's a city under siege right now. If you want to bounce and just leave them, yeah, sure, you can go get a long rest. You might not like what you return to."
Yeah.
But ended up go ahead and fighting him and, taking care of the rest of the horde. DM speak. You can, but I wouldn't recommend it. Normal English, you're gonna get murdered. Yeah, exactly. And I have I talked about it on the podcast. I have a moment where it's coming up eventually. I don't know how many sessions it'll take to get there, but where I am going to stop the session dead in its tracks and ensure that somebody is ready to take the action they're about to take. Because if they do, things will happen.
TPK!
Yeah, bad things. Very bad things. But, yeah, a way to prevent the natural tendency to min-max recourse usage is to nerf rests and give less for time. Your party can't just blow out all their stuff because they aren't sure if they'll get the chance to replenish everything. Exactly. And that's what I want to, at some point, put you guys through my first real dungeon. Because I never really ran you guys through a dungeon in the first campaign. I want to try that. Where it's like, okay, we might be able to sneak in a short rest here and there, get some of our hit dice back, but we're not going to find time for a long rest. So we can't just run, hide, take our 8 hours, and then get everything back. Which I have been particular with that this campaign. I've also been making you guys track rations.
Well, not really, because I'm playing a druid, so...
Well, yeah, you are a druid, so you have good berry, but at least you have to think about switching out your spells before you guys travel.
Yeah, that's been a real issue for me.
Yeah, see? So I'm still making you have to think of something. And if your druid dies, all of the sudden, something that you guys have been relying on, it's like, where are you going? Oh, we're leaving town without food. Where are you going to get food?
Yeah.
Like, I will bring that up. That will become a thing. Absolutely. Can bring to your attention that the time it takes to make a normal health potion is 10 years, and the time it makes a slightly better healing potion is 100 years. Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's dumb. That don't make no sense. But yeah, I honestly think D&D is better when you change it. Like, don't just play out of the book.
Yeah.
But to move on to our last little topic here.
While you're doing that, while you're setting that up, I'm going to run to the bathroom because I am
Go right on
on
ahead.
the verge.
Also, let's be honest, you're never going to get a full rest if people have to stand guard or if they're in a damp cave. Long rests that reset everything should only really be for places like taverns. Yes, although when you consider having people switch rest, I'm willing to be like, okay, yes, you missed an hour of sleep to be on watch. Like, I'm willing to say, okay, yeah, you'll get a long rest because you're still, even though you're not actively sleeping, you're most of the time just sitting there and watching, You're not doing a whole lot. D&D is most of the time better when you take a welding torch and hacksaw to the rules. Absolutely. And that's the thing with long rest where it's like it has to be 8 hours, I do believe, yes, there's a reason that rule is there, and it's like I don't think you need to sleep for 8 hours necessarily. I think, okay, we're resting, we've sat around, rest wasn't as good, just means the rest wasn't as good as a full rest. You might miss out on a spell slot or don't regain all health. Yeah, and I would think about doing stuff like that if it wouldn't make it even more difficult for me to plan an encounter. Because it's like, now I have to consider, okay, I've been beating them ruthlessly. Welcome back. I've been beating them down ruthlessly with no spot to find and get a real rest. And then they have to fight this, pretty mean creature. Like that. I don't really love the idea of only considering it a full rest if it's at a tavern. Like, I understand the logic behind it, but, shut up, rules lawyer. I can run on 6 hours. Well, yeah, and that's exactly, you know what? The people who are on watch are probably only sleeping 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
But when they're on watch, most of the time, they're just sitting there next to the campfire and watching out in the camp. Like, they're not, like, up and running around doing things, They're still resting. So that's my idea behind it. If you are resting for 8 hours, not necessarily sleeping, but even if you're just chilling, that works. But to move on from that topic, we have a starter Pokemon tier list.
Fun.
Allow me to stream this to you so you can see it. Yep. You got it?
Hold on. Watch stream. There we go.
Okay. So I believe this has all the starter Pokemon all the way through Paldea. So, and from some of the GameCube games as well. Very interesting. So starting off, Bulbasaur. S tier. I love Bulbasaur. Ivysaur.
Are we just doing the starters, or are we doing all of it?
It's just starter Pokemon. But I mean, it's their whole evolution line. But
Okay. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Ivysaur. I mean, the first one and the Bulbasaur and Venusaur, cool. Ivysaur, eh.
Yeah, that's exactly. I think Bulbasaur is like a B tier. I think Ivysaur. Ivysaur is just like a middle evolution.
Yeah.
Charmander. I like Charmander. I like Charmander.
He's cute.
He is
And
cute.
he's super sad.
I don't like Charmeleon all that much.
I'd put him in C.
Yeah, I think you're right. C tier. And then Charizard is A. I like Charizard, but good grief, he gets too much publicity. Too much. Like, they need to chill out on Charizard. I've gotten sick of Charizard because of how much he's overhyped, like overused. Squirtle, S tier.
Yeah, like, the first round of starters was amazing.
Absolutely. High quality. Wartortle, I think Wartortle's the worst of the middle evolution of the originals because he's kind of just Squirtle with little ear things and a different tail. Like,
And he doesn't. It's like the mid round were real weak, but then their final evolutions, they're dope.
final evolution, and I need to clarify this. Quality wise, Charizard is an S. I'm just sick and tired of seeing Charizard at this point. It's honestly kind of mid, but good one, group.
Pretty funny.
Chikorita. I don't know why this is E instead of F. I hate Chikorita. I hate Bayleaf. Meganium's a little bit better. But still don't like Meganium. Viability-wise, Meganium sucks. This is like the worst starter Pokemon ever made. Cyndaquil.
A B tier.
See you later, cheese. Yeah, B tier. I don't really love Cyndaquil. Cyndaquil's cute. Quilava, ugly. Ugly Metal Fire evolution. Just like Charmeleon. Typhlosion, once again, B tier. Not great. What is that?
I don't know.
Is that a different Typhlosion? Oh, I know what it is. It's from the Pokemon Legends Arceus. It's Fire Ghost?
Okay, that's pretty dope.
That is pretty cool. I have to put it up a tier just because of that. That's a good combination. Totodile. He's my favorite Gen 2 starter, so my boy's got to go in S tier. Where would you put Totodile?
I was not a big fan of Gen 2, I'm going to be honest with you.
Gen 2 did not have the best starters, no. But I guess, yeah, comparatively, I have to put him down at A, but he is my favorite of the Gen 2 starters. Croconaw, C tier, ugly middle evolution. For Alligator, though, dope. Love for Alligator. Here is quite possibly, quality-wise, the best across the board. I feel like from first
Gen
stage
3?
to last stage, every single one of these could go in S tier. Like, I'm not crazy
Yeah.
for saying that, right?
No, like Sceptile, that was my boy.
Sceptile is dope. And then shout out to all my Pokemon Mystery Dungeon chads for Groyvile. I love Groyvile. The only one that might not be is Marshtomp. I I'm not the biggest fan of Marshtomp. He's not
Yeah.
the worst though. I just don't feel like he can go in S tier. He doesn't match up with the rest of them. Or are all the middle evolutions impractical or ugly? I don't know. That tends to be a theme with a lot of middle evolutions. Uh, Turtwig. You don't like the middle chicken design wise. It doesn't bridge the gap between first and final nicely. I mean, yes, it's not the best. I suppose you could say it should be in A tier as well. But it still looks good at the very least. Turtwig is S. You are absolutely right. 100%.
Yeah.
Grottle. You know what? We can just call this the ugly middle evolution tier because
Yeah,
that's
pretty much.
what it is. Torterra's S tier though.
Yeah.
Turtwig is so cute. Oh yeah, I got a deal on buying Mercari. I don't know why I lost the name. I have all 3 of the Sinnoh starters as little plushes now, and I love them. Chimchar. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, no, I didn't want to rename that tier. Whatever. Okay, no, Monferno doesn't belong. Monferno could go in the ugly middle evolution, but my boys. Piplup. Gen 4 was another good one for starters. And Prinplup, I gotta say, doesn't belong in the ugly middle evolution tier because he's the best middle evolution of Gen 4. And Empoleon's incredible too. Snivy. Now this is getting into games you haven't played.
Yeah.
I like Snivy.
Is it like a snake thing?
Yes.
Is it like
So he gradually, yes, his legs disappear and he turns full on into a snake. So it's Snivy, Servine, and Serperior. I forget what the name C mid. All right, done. We're reaching the we have more pixels to design, so let's add a ton of detail stage. Yeah, absolutely. That is where we are. Snivy's a B. I like Snivy. He's probably my favorite of this generation, but he's not that great. Servine, ugly middle evolution.
Yeah.
I do really like Superior though. Superior's pretty dope. Tepig. Tepig's all right.
I have seen this one. I did not like that evolution of.
So I like Tepig, but I don't like these two. Embor is okay. I don't like the entire evolution line handled arms. They turn into weird leaves. That is true. So, just so you know, Superior does still have arms. They're just 2 little leaves crossed behind his back. Kind of supposed to be like a regal, you know how they have that fancy way of standing with your arms crossed behind your back. That's what Superior is supposed to be emulating. Oshawott is the most freaking adorable thing to ever exist. So he's going in S tier. Duat actually breaks the trend of ugly middle evolutions by being the perfect advancement on Oshawott. I hate Samurott. As a matter of fact, I can drop him down here. I really don't like Samurott because he's completely not in line with these two. Like, you would have expected an otter. So the idea is Oshawott has this little shell that's sharpened. I think he has his own unique move called Razor Shell. And Duat has two of them. So you would expect, maybe he gets like a big shell weapon. He turns full on ninja. No, he turns into a samurai and gets four-legged. Really doesn't make much sense. I'm putting his Hisuian variant in there as well. I don't care if he's, water dark or whatever it is. The entire line that leads up to Cineroar is top tier. That one is a good one. He can pull a shell knife. Yeah, exactly. And, such a great little otter. Absolutely adorable. Bigger otter. Great. Why did you turn him into this? Why? I've always had a beef with that. But, moving on. Gen 6. Now, these are games I haven't played. Why is the Finnegan line in here twice? That's weird.
I don't know.
This guy is Chespin?
You're past what I know.
I'm past what I know. I'm pulling things out of my ass here. I don't know if I'm really saying these right. I think his name is Chespin. He's cute, but you're about to get shanked by Sally selling seashells by the seashore.
That's pretty good.
That was pretty good. Quilladin, ugly middle evolution. Chestnut. Yeah, they are based on chestnuts, but it's also, so the idea with these ones, they're almost like fantasy classes. So the grass type is like a paladin, the fire type is like a wizard, and the water type is like a rogue. Cool idea. I don't like the way they executed him. I think, I can pull up another picture so you get a better idea of what Chestnut looks like. I think that's the name. This is what Chestnut. Oh, I realize you're not going to see it because I'm streaming that one window. Yeah, whatever. I don't love his design. I got to be honest. It's
okay.
I don't know. Not my thing. Finnegan, absolutely adorable. I love Finnegan.
Yes.
Finnegan
Firefox.
Yeah, Firefox. Great internet browser. Okay. Braxian, better than the other middle evolutions, but still not that great. And Delphox. I love Delphox. Fire Psychic, by the way. The second ever. People hate the ear hair. I kind of dig it. It looks unique. Yeah, I know. Exactly. Because if it didn't have ear hair, it would just be a Finnick Fox. Like, they put the line in twice. Froakie. Froakie is adorable. I gotta say, Froakie is adorable. Frogadier is A tier. I don't think he's the best looking, but he's definitely not the worst looking middle evolution. And then, Greninja is S tier. Ash Greninja, I'm not even really going to consider Ash Greninja, because he's just an alternate form. It's basically Ash fused with his Pokemon. Yeah, Frog. Rowlet, Rowlet's S tier. I love Rowlet. Dartrix, ugly middle evolution.
Yeah.
And then I love Decidueye as well. I'm not a huge fan of the Hisuian version, though. He's a little weird. Orb Owl, indeed. Okay, yeah, Litten.
Yeah. Meow meow.
Kitty cat. Not Torcat, really. Torcat's kind of boring. Like, he doesn't do enough off of Litten to really make himself super unique. So, he's not bad, but he's just not super interesting. Incineroar, though. Incineroar's dope.
Yeah.
The amount of furries this cat created. Oh, yeah, trust me. I'm well aware. Poplio.
I did not like the seal.
I'm
gonna be honest with you.
He's not my favorite, but I do love, because it was everybody was universally it was like, oh yeah, he's the stupid one. He's the dumb one. It was just like, oh, look at this sweet little owl. He's such a good boy. Oh, what a cute little kitty. Oh yeah, look at this mentally challenged seal dog. I don't know what the middle evolution is called for that one, but it's not great. I do like Primarina though. Not S tier, but a pretty good evolution.
Okay, now we're getting into ones that I got back into.
Yes, you came back in with Gen 8.
Yeah.
Eli laughs awkwardly to hide his secret. You thought I'd identify with the seal dog? Yeah, absolutely. There's not a thought behind those eyes. Oh, you like laughed after the furry comment. That's what group was saying.
I ain't no furry.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh boy.
I'll fight you.
All right, Grookey.
He was pretty decent.
I like his design. He's not my favorite, but I'll say
He's
A.
very much the ditzy one of them.
I don't like this middle evolution though. I gotta say, not the best look. I think that's got to go with the other ugly middle evolutions.
And then he had the most powerful final
Rillaboom, though, is pretty freaking cool. Especially if you've seen his G-Max form and he's just on a freaking drum set. It's dope. Listen, man, I ain't no furry, Eli said, eyeing his $200,000 furry suit. He just turns into a banana in his middle evolution. Yeah, he does. He does a little bit. He's like a monkey coming out of a banana peel. I didn't even realize that. That's hilarious. Oh, boy. Score Bunny.
Then the Score Bunny was probably the best starter out of the set.
Score Bunny is very good. I don't think I can put Score Bunny in S tier. Because there are other starters here that I like more. Reboot?
Yeah, the rest... So, the middle evolution, ugly evolution.
Yeah, it's not quite as bad as some of these. I'll put it at the top of this tier. If it will let me. Thank you. Because it's not as ugly as some of these other ones. But... You know... Cinderace.
A tier.
Yeah, again, A. Good, but not quite cracking S tier for me. Love how well this line flows. Goes from kid to sporty teen to pro footballer. Yeah. And that's the thing. I think Riboot is all right. It's just not the best looking.
Yeah.
And
And
that's
then
what, like,
now we're going into my favorite starter from this generation.
Sobble.
Yeah. He's such a good boy. Such a goofball, and he's like emo.
He is very emo. I think A tier. Now, I will say middle evolution does, I don't know. The two of these, like, I kind of want to move Riboot up into B cuz I don't think it's quite as bad as these. Bottom B, we'll say that.
Yeah.
Cuz it's not as ugly. He'll move up a little. I'll put him right there. That works. Inteleon, though, I will admit Inteleon's pretty cool. The secret agent aspect.
Yeah.
Um and now he is emo, but he's the emo kid that actually said F you and became an assassin for a living. Yeah, dude, his G Max is him like on a sniper's tower. It's freaking awesome. Kitty Cat, Sprigatito.
Oh, my baby.
I know you're gonna put him in S tier. I'll go ahead and agree with you.
Her, let's start there.
Okay,
because it is 95% female.
Oh, is it really?
Yes.
That's a.
If you have a male, it's I think the only starter that has like a 95% chance of being
Yeah, because
female.
most of the starters are 75-25 towards a male.
Yeah.
You hate the second and third evolution? I don't like the fact that it went bipedal.
Yeah.
I think that goes in ugly middle evolution, and this just goes in B. Because, like, it doesn't look bad, but I really wish it had stayed on all fours.
Actually, the thing is, with the final one, it's like a like going to a masquerade.
Yes.
Which I thought was really cool, and like its special move is flower dance.
Well, and that's the thing. I like the design of it. I just wish if they were going to start with it on four legs, they shouldn't have made it bipedal. They should have started with a bipedal cat.
Oh yeah, I agree there.
I ain't comfy with that look, ma'am. Yeah, that's the other thing. So many people were horny for this one, like, immediately. I was like, please, stop. Like, it was immediate. They're like, oh, cute cat. Oh, third evolution. Like,
stop it.
Fuecoco, I love. He's the same thing as the seal.
That entire line should be S tier.
I do love this entire line. Skeledirge, especially. Skeledirge is the first time I've seen a starter Pokemon that actually came close to me being like, that's almost as cool as Infernape. Like, that is right up there.
Yeah.
I like, Skeledirge is dope. And then Quaxley.
Quaxley was considered the worst to start out with, but apparently it is the most broken Pokemon when it comes to tournaments.
Right. See, and I like Quaxley. I think that belongs in ugly middle evolution, and I don't love the final evolution either. Goofball into absolute badass. Yeah, dude, that's why I love Fuecoco. It's like no thoughts, head empty. No thoughts but egg on head. Absolute monster. His second evolution is too similar to the first. Yeah, they are very close. They could have done a little bit more to separate it. At least I do like the touch of the egg on the head, and then in the final evolution, he's got the little bird all on the end of his snout.
That ends up being a microphone.
What?
It turns into a. microphone.
That's it. Oh, yeah, because his signature ability is Torch Song.
Yep.
Ah. Fair enough. Okay. Now we get into the side games. So, Pikachu and Eevee. As a starter Pokemon, because I do like Pikachu, despite how much he's overused. Pikachu's a B for a starter. He's just not my favorite starter. Like, if I'm playing through one of the Gen 1 games, absolutely, I'm going to end up catching a Pikachu. But you know who's cooler than Pikachu? Raichu. And nobody ever acknowledges that. Because they're all like, oh, Pikachu. Raichu's pretty freaking dope. Eevee? I love Eevee.
Eevee is such the, like, fix-it Pokemon.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then we're getting into Pokemon Coliseum, I believe, where you start with an Espeon and an Umbreon. Okay, you know what? I'm going to let you rank these two because I would immediately put these two in S because I love both of these. These are my two favorite evolutions.
Not mine.
Okay. You want to say A?
Yeah.
Okay.
My favorite evolution is the fairy evolution.
Really? Sylveon?
Yeah, dude, it's...
I hate Sylveon.
I love it.
I mean, it's not the worst. I guess it's really a beef with the fairy type as a whole that I have. The trans Eevee. Yeah, that's another thing. It was immediately like, oh, that's the trans colors, so that's the trans Eevee. I was like, all right.
I like the shiny
It's a Pokemon. What does the shiny one look like? I don't know what the shiny one looks like. Shiny Sylveon. Oh, the shiny one does look better. With the primary blue, yeah, that does look better.
Yeah.
No, I think I have a beef with the fairy type. And so that kind of makes me biased against any Pokemon that has fairy type. But now we're down to, it's a Pokemon, but let's be honest, it's the exact colors that were already way connected. Yeah, and it's true. But and that's not why I hate the Pokemon. I don't like fairy type because I think fairy type was a bad addition to the game. There needed to be something to put dragon type in check, but at the same time, they made something that was as bad as dragon type was before the fairy type came around.
Yeah.
What they did Vaporeon is way more problematic. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. What do you mean? Are you just talking about the whole "did you know" meme, or is there something else? You love Steel type? I love Steel type too. Steel type is
what
great.
What is your favorite Pokemon type? Because you know mine.
Fire.
Okay.
Fire
Because
or fighting.
Ghost.
Okay, you were talking about the meme. Yeah, Vaporeon is painter white. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Yeah, that meme's bad.
I wish they had an Eevee for Ghost type.
Well, dude, that's really easy.
Yeah, it's just
you level up you evolve your Eevee with a stone called a brick. Leafeon is your favorite? Leafeon is a good evolution, and Leafeon is really. I think Leafeon might compete with my favorite. Wait, hold on. Before I say that, Never mind, I was wrong. It was the concept shiny Leafeon that I saw. Because the actual shiny Leafeon is barely changed. The concept shiny Leafeon is this. This is the real shiny. And the concept shiny is this.
I'm watching the stream. I don't see.
You might be slightly behind.
I'm watching the Discord one. Oh,
well, it's not in the same window, so you're not going to see it.
Okay, yeah, I see.
This is such a better shiny than the real one. Yeah, no, that's not the official shiny group. That's why I had to stop and like think about that for a second. That's the concept shiny that a lot of people want. Like, if you look at these two, what's the freaking difference between these two? He's slightly more golden? No, the autumn colors are so much better. That's why I had to hesitate before I said that, because I was gonna say that competes for my favorite.
Can you look up what Ghost Eevee would look like?
Oh yeah. Right after this. Shiny Umbreon is my favorite shiny evolution. By a long shot. But okay, let's see. There's Descreon. I don't like the name, even though the design is fine.
Oh, Shadeon?
Shadeon, that's more in line with an evolution. This one doesn't look bad, but kind of just looks like Eevee's wearing a coat.
Yeah.
Ghost-type Eevee evolved with a 9mm round. Right to the dome. Oh, I do like this one. I shouldn't say Phantom, it should say Ghost, but Haunteon. That one looks pretty cool. Want to see a Mega Evolution that's all of them mixed? There probably exists that somewhere on the internet. This one, somebody just put a sheet over Umbreon. Alright. Vailion, I don't hate that one. They need to make an official one. They also need to make a Steel-type Eevee.
Oh, that might be a good next-gen thing. Like, you give us the Ghost and Steel type.
Ghost, Steel, they still need Dragon.
Fighting.
Bug. Ground. Flying. Is that all the ones they don't have? I'm probably missing one. Some people want a normal type evolution.
Oh, that would be pretty cool.
That's just like a bigger Eevee. I think that'd be interesting. I feel like they'd have to do something a little bit more than that, though. Like, just make a bigger Eevee. Like, do something to make it unique.
Yeah.
The only ones that are left are the Mega Evolutions of the starters that have them. Venusaur is just a Venusaur with a bigger tree. It's alright, but A tier. Mega Charizard X is freaking dope. Mega Charizard Y is not. Mega Blastoise, Giant Cannon. A tier. Mega Sceptile, you gave him the Dragon type, so I've got to put him in S. Mega Blaziken. My inner Street Fighter fan wants to say S tier, but we'll put him there. Look up Eevee plus Eevee Fusion from Pokemon Infinite Fusions. Okay. And Swampert. I love Mega Swampert. He's just big.
He big boy.
He a big boy.
Big
All right.
horse.
Eevee. Let's see. Well, what's the, you know what? What's the site for the Pokemon? Pokemon Fusions. Oh gosh, I didn't know it was gonna make sound. Oh my gosh. That like gave me a heart attack. Oh my gosh. That was horrifying. Okay. Let's do Umbreon. Oh, this site doesn't give the ones the game use. Oh, yeah. This is the one that came out before the game. I'll pull up the other one and just after we do the first one. Where's Leafeon? Screw it, bye barrel. Fuse. Ah! Oh gosh, it's horrifying. Okay. Oh, this is just the... It's just the download site for Pokemon Infinite Fusion. Fusion Dex? Is this the one? Where are the evolutions? There they are. Vaporeon. Okay, here we go. Yep. These are the ones they use for the game. Vaporador. This is kind of why I want to... Combining Hitmonlee and Stantler is fun. Why? Because his name becomes Hitler? This is kind of why I want to do the Infinite Fusions ROM, just because...
Oh, you got the Sharkeon.
Oh, yeah, I'll go back to that in a second. I just want to see Hitmonlee and Stantler. Okay, that's horrifying. Hitmonlee and Gengar? Okay, finally we're out of Gen 1. Whoa, Amphalee looks dope. I don't know what Stantler's Pokédex entry is. I guess I should just look for horns. Hitmon is great. Hitmonlee and Gengar looks like it's on a list. Yeah, you're right. No, because it takes Hitmon, not just Hit. It would have been funnier if it was Hitler. Although, if you do it the reverse, it's Stan Lee. That's awesome. Okay, we can go back to Vaporeon. Umbreon. Oh, that's freaking dope. Vaporeon and Umbreon making an anglerfish.
Yeah.
I love that. Wait, what was Espeon? Oh, not Vaporpeon. Wait, hold on. Where's Gardevoir? Oh, wait. Why does it skip past Gardevoir? It goes right to Gen 4. Has nobody made a Gardevoir one? Vaporfish? Wait, which one? I missed Vaporfish. The Gardevoir fusions are good. I'm afraid. Oh gosh. All right, who's gonna try and bang it? Because I know it's gonna happen.
Oh, so cute.
Although I like the one with the water pouring out of the dress. I'm gonna regret this. I like these different... Okay, I don't like that sprite. Or that one. What? This sprite's really cool. Oh, do you want to see my favorite shiny Mega Evolution?
Sure.
Shiny Mega Gardevoir. Because she's a goth queen.
Of course.
Oh, gosh.
How did I know it would come to this with you?
Oh, boy.
It always...
Oh, dude. That's awesome. Gardevoir and Ekans makes Medusa.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
See, surprisingly, there's quite a lot of these that are not as bad as I thought they would be. The kind of Pokemon that owns the trainer.
Man.
Oh, that's awful. This is dope, though. Same with that one. They're just cool dresses for the most part. Yeah, that's true. That's horrifying. I don't ever want to see that again.
Well, the Ninetales one is pretty dope.
Oh, the Ninetales one is good. I really like this. Gardevoir and Lopunny? No.
Do it. Do it.
You're not doing that.
Do it.
Oh no. Oh no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, no, no. We're gonna
I'm behind. Oh, I see what
victory
you're.
for? Like, no. Absolutely not. Someone needs to calm down with that.
Victory for.
Garde- Gardevoir and Gengar is so good. He's just wearing a freaking wig. Oh man. Oh, I love that one. No, don't spell it like that. Don't spell it like that.
Do
Don't
it.
you dare. Oh boy. Tell me when you see Gardevoir Gengar.
I saw it.
Oh, you did? Okay. Wait, what? Gardic Orb? I missed that one. Oh my gosh.
Hashtag too cute.
Uh, not the one I'm looking at.
I don't know which one you're looking at is the problem.
Garda Orb has a straight up wang. What? Did yeah, that one was yeah. Whoa. Lantern in Gardevoir. That one's pretty cool. Oh, dude, if you mix her with Murkrow, she turns into a plague doctor? That's awesome. I love that. I also love this. Esvoir. The freaking eye coming out of the cloak? That's dope. Cardsman, what am I looking at? Hashtag, what am I looking at? Good question. Gardevoir, Umbreon. Yeah, that one wasn't too good. It was very plain. I guess this one. No, that's Espeon. This one, it's okay. I don't love this one a lot. The Espeon one's great though. Gardevoir and Geodude. I have to go all the way back up for that one. We'll do that in a second. Alright, I like Smeargle because he just does art of whatever Pokemon you fuse him with.
Oh, that is cute.
Gardevoir and Ho-Oh. That's pretty good. Also like Gardevoir and Mismagius. Or, yeah, Mismagius. Gardevoir and Licky Tongue. Or Licky Licky. That's Licky Licky. All right, that's it. That's the last one. Oh, whoever made this one was a genius. Hot guards in your area. All right, cool. Well, I think we almost beat last week's record because we're over 2 hours again. Just because we got distracted with Pokemon fusions. Oh my gosh. All right. Oh, you got your quote?
No.
All right, well, I'll read mine then. Mine is Jeffrey Pelt from Hunt for Red October. Listen, I'm a politician, which means I'm a cheat and a liar. And when I'm not kissing babies, I'm stealing their lollipops. But also means I keep my options open.
Yeah. You told me that earlier, so...
Yeah. I spoiled my quote to you. Words to live by. I watched that movie with my dad for the first time last week, and I burst out laughing when he said that. I was like, that's a great quote. Having some problems over there? Yeah?
Okay. From Sergeant Johnson himself.
Okay.
That or you can hide behind me. You done with my boy here, Master Guns? I don't see any training wheels.
All right. You have a quote group? All right. Go for it. Why not? Eli 2024. That's a good quote.
Yeah, shut up. I hate all of you.
I figured you'd like it. It's straight from your own mouth.
Fuck off.
Watch your language. Well, that's all. That's all for this episode, everybody. Thank you so much for watching.
Viva la revolution!
I will be on tomorrow with Pokemon Soul Silver. We're finally returning to Pokemon. And I don't know what Eli's doing. So...
either Stardew or something else.
Cool. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Have a great rest of your night. Catch you tomorrow. Tally-o!
Tally-o!